Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, Rick's only way out. So we are going to talk about some last final predictions. We're in the last week and a half, and it is all going to go down fast and furious. It's funny the spoiler sites are keeping a close lid on the information they may or may not know. We're going to add on some theories that we had last night and hopefully give you a little bit of new information if you hadn't had a chance to watch the Rotten Tomatoes TV site. They've got a little bit of the Rick Carol interaction of next week. It's pretty moving. We are going to jump into that in 1 minute. I want to thank everybody for being here. We got finally kills. Was I that late, or were you just waiting here that long? I thought it was a couple seconds early, but I've got people doing 2-minute countdowns and everything. So this is a good part of our day, right? I mean, I'm having a blast hanging out with you guys. We do these streams every night, and we just get some really good drama. Was it you that pointed out the RV over Rick's shoulders in the background last night? We went through to confirm that, so that's good stuff. Looks like Jadis might have sent Heath up. We got Scott Kernan. So we got Scott says it seems as if hallucinations will be in episode 5. Hallucinations of the actors, or I can't say it. Hallucinations on our part, because we've been waiting for a long time. Thank you for that drama. That actually, that theory just made a lot of sense, especially now that we know what Jadis knows. So yeah, she might be our savior. Well, not a savior, but she might be our savior in order to save Rick Grimes. Michael Curie, 99 kills, missed some streams, had things going on, but I'm back. Back again. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you being here. And we want the whole family to be here. We want everybody to get here and get involved. So I got a couple bullet points, and we will be jumping around a little bit. Soap Dirt is at it again. I don't know if you guys have been checking them out recently, but they definitely... Scott, I'm feeling you, because they have said that those hallucinations will be in full effect. Valar, what's going on, Valar? Valar with a super chat says, hello, 999 Army. Kill Steph Kells, Emmy, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, Patreons, and, of course, super chatters. Last night was like rapid fire, I think, with super chats. It was like boom, boom. I mean, the hour flew by just immediately because I was just trying to keep up with everybody. So tonight, if you guys have seen the Rotten Tomatoes TV exclusive sneak peek, just give me a quick, what's up? Yes, I did. Any of the above in chat. If you haven't, I strongly recommend checking that out, because you can see the mood, the mode, and if you didn't, I'm going to tell you what happens. It's short. It's only about a minute, but Rick is in tears. Rick is crying. Carol is going back to the kingdom, and Rick kind of, I can't even imitate the voice, but it's hurt. He's hurt, right? It's like, what about the sanctuary? Kind of like that. He's so concerned about this sanctuary. It's bothering me. Like, I know you want to make things right, but he's so afraid of turning his back on the sanctuary. And he's literally in tears, and Carol says to him that, she's going to go back. They make choices, and she says when he says, what about the sanctuary? She goes, they need to be on their own. And she says, I know one thing. They don't want Negan. This is really shaping out to be an epic ambush. Every day, I'm looking for something, not going to use the word debunk. Hate that word. I'm looking for something to make it so that Jed is dead. Rick is somewhere else. But the two of these, they're destined to cross paths. I just, I can't shake that. And now you got with Maggie coming down to get Negan, and with Daryl, trying to pull Rick away. Merle's going to be on Talking Dead this week, by the way, so you know that's why that Rick and Daryl get in a fight. If they're going to bring Merle back for an episode with Angela Kang and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, then it's going to go down. I think they're just going to talk about how Merle the memory of Merle never goes away. Scott Kernan. Scott just did a super chat and forgot to type. I know what you did there, Scott. All right, I'll be on the lookout for your next comment. He hit the send button too early. I will also say that at the end of the Rick dialogue with Carol, and I'm telling you, he's not hoarse. He's not thirsty. Those are tears. His eyes are watering because of tears, like Carol's leaving too. And I think it's because Rick is realizing that all these people are turning their back on his dream, and they're turning his back on Carl. And that's a sad moment. Because in the end, it may only be Michonne that is going to stand by him. Scott wants to know, is it possible that this could be the end of the Saviors, if not Negan? By the way, do you see the opening minutes? Yes, and yes. I don't think it's going to be the end of the Saviors. I think it's going to be the end of the Saviors in their current construction, though. Paul Gilmore. Paul says, Rick feels he's failing Carl's vision of the future. I'm gathering my thoughts here because the Rick thing is very moving. And I'm trying to just sort of feel a little bit of what he feels when everybody sort of turns their back on him. And Rick says, in a point of complete honesty, I'm not sure if this is the right thing, but if anyone gives me hope, it's you. And wait, is this the first mod super chat? This might be a monumental night. Steph, the Cuervo Queen, throwing a super chat and saying, "Mod super chat, we love our army. You make this so much fun." And that's a little bit of Emmys, mushies to you. Steph, you're going to make me say mushies. That is truly a word I never thought I would say in a live stream, is mushies. But because it was super chatted, I was kind of compelled to. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for showing the love to the army, because I'm sure it's mutual, Steph. These everybody here loves the mods. If you guys love what we do, and you love the moderators, and you think the moderators do a hell of a job, then hit that like button. Let's see if we can double the likes just by me asking that question. Show us support for the mods. And we've got for the love of everything, you know what? I greatly appreciate the super chat. Wow, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to not mess up your name, but I'm telling you, name pronunciation is not my strong suit. Goucher. I'm trying. If I'm close with that, then give me a yes. GG. There you go. GG. That's the best I can do. And hey, if you got a follow-up, thank you for that. Appreciate the super chat. And just type a comment so we can give you a little bit of love and spotlight your question. Oh, I did it. Well, look at that. Now I forgot how I said it. I'll have to listen to the playback. Because if I do it a second time, I'm going to completely mess it up. Carol going back to the kingdom. It hurt me to watch that, because My question is, will Carol ever see Rick Grimes again? I'm going to make that my question for the 999 Army right now. Does Rick feel that this is the beginning of the end of something? Is that why he's a little choked up? And he is choked up. Look, I know you guys may not want to hear this, but, and okay, maybe they see each other 5 years from now, 6 years from now. My problem is, and my advice to everyone, watch this week's episode and appreciate the people that Rick interacts with, because there's only so many people he can interact with in the next 2 episodes. If he has some dialogue with Eugene, just appreciate the dialogue and the dynamic of the two of them acting together. And then if it's Rosita, because the next 2 weeks is really going to be our victory tour for Rick. We're coming up on it. I mean, it's getting close. So instead of, just kind of going out there and saying, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I will say that the acting, I think, has been incredible. I think they've done such an amazing job. The story, I think, has been beyond incredible. And I know we get into these streams afterwards and we do the reaction videos, but we don't focus a lot on, well, actually we do. Our channel and our army, we focus a little bit more on characteristics and dynamics than most. But even though we do, I still don't know that we give it the full credit it deserves. Which is a little bit natural because, we're hurt. We're angry, right? I'm not saying we necessarily feel betrayed, but you still know that a character you've gotten to know for 10 years is leaving, at least temporarily. So pay attention to all the conversations, the acting, the fight between him and Daryl, the fact that his interaction with Daryl could be his last interaction. Think about that. Let's say they fight this week and they do temporarily make up, and that's the last time. Okay, this is going to be a sad stream. We're going to have to transition it. So once again, and as I put in the title of this video, Rick's only way out. I don't see another living scenario than the helicopter. Can't say with certainty he lives or he dies, but I am going to throw the comment out to you guys. Another scenario that Rick is possibly open-ended without the helicopter being involved. I just want to see a few of the comments. And we've got Scott Kernan says, it's funny how in a way the Whispers are way off in the Walking Dead timeline. Well, they had to do this with time skips. And multiple time skips, I think, really to make it work. Instead of just the 2-year time skip, Michonne leaves and Michonne comes back and we already got a Whisper war. And they had to kill off some characters that were growing up, and they had to they have to grow up some characters that they're looking to get involved in the storyline. And I think part of that time skip really is about Henry. You know what? It does kind of set up really nicely, though. If, and I mean a big if, because it would be, I don't know if I want to use the word unprecedented, but I can't remember a time that it happened. So let's forget the first time skip. We are where we are, okay? We're in episode number 4. And we're getting ready for episode number 5. So for sake of argument, let's say Rick is not bitten, Rick is shot, and Rick is captured via helicopter. If that were to go down that way, and if this big news that might be unveiled at some point is a Walking Dead movie. Pretty interesting, right? I mean, couldn't you see that Rick... Look, I'm not saying Rick survives a Walking Dead movie, but I would ask you this question. If Rick were taken via helicopter, and there's a 5-year time skip between the time he's taken in the helicopter to the second half of the season, could he survive it? I mean, it could actually be more than one movie if you think about it. It could be the Walking Dead movie, and then he gets free, he meets other whatever, he doesn't know where he's at, he's taken far away. I guess this is not something we talk about on a regular basis, but even if Rick is flown away and he doesn't know where he is, it's not like he just knows how to get back to Alexandria. So if he's completely lost, or dun 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 dun, is it possible that he's taken far, far away, like another continent, and has no means of getting back? Let me know your thoughts on that. I know we haven't really dug into it that much, but what if the helicopter takes him to a boat, and a boat takes him someplace, and is fighting to try to get back, and that's why he can't get back to Michonne. I mean, he's not just he's captured, but he's in a place where he doesn't know where he is. I mean, we assume because we got GPS, we assume we could just turn on our smartphones and hey, we get back to where we started from, but even if he's unconscious, he doesn't know. He wakes up in a bunker somewhere. And if he is lucky enough to escape, what if he's on like an island and he can't get off the island, and if he got off the island, he wouldn't even know where he's at. So many scenarios where you could see him taking 5 years to get back to Michonne. I mean, Morgan can't even get back from Texas in 2 years. So if Morgan can't get back from Texas, then Rick might not be able to get back from some unknown location. So just want to give some possible scenarios to that. So, Walking Dead Nerd says, what if Father G begs Jadis for his life and says he won't tell Rick, so Jadis says, you're a B after all. She lets him go. If he brings her an A, so he lets Negan out to deliver to Jadis. Well, Walking Dead Nerd, let me say, elements of that are possible. But we know that Negan has filmed in the second half, and we know that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a big part of the show. So if he were to deliver Negan back, I don't see a scenario where he's on the helicopter and he's taken away and he's not a part of the show, because he's going to be a big part of the show. Now, if he comes back and he escapes, then you've got a little bit of redundancy, I think, where, okay, well, you've had Rick once. Actually had Father G. Father G got away. Then you had Rick. Then Rick got away. Then you had Negan. Negan got away. Then you had Father G again. He begged. He got away. Then you had Negan again. I'm a little concerned that that's a little too much. Whereas I think they'll focus a little bit more on the Heath mystery. And I think they'll, the hints are out there, the Easter eggs are out there. So I think that story will be before they open up a new story, they're going to have to close a couple loops. And it's very possible, but I'm not giving up on Rick yet. And it could be. I mean, he could save Rick, but there could be some scenarios where, I guess there's multiple scenarios where Rick could get on the chopper. But I still do like that Jed ambushes him. And Jadis finds her A, and he's somewhat incapacitated. But I gotta be honest. I'm ready. I'm kind of ready to know. I mean, Chasing the Sun, I don't know if we're going to see past characters with heads on pikes. I just don't know that after a 7-year total time skip, how those... I mean, you think about it. I mean, yes, Heath could be captured and he could finally be killed. But if he was killed right away, that means they would have put his head on a pike 7 years ago before we even knew who the Whisperers were. I don't think so. I mean, I know we talked about that initially, but I think the people with heads on pikes are going to be people that are currently alive. I think it's going to be, maybe an Enid, maybe a Tammy Rose, maybe a Jesus, stuff like that. Like, more people we're very familiar with, and it just feels like that Heath mystery is going to be helicopter-ish. Nirvana Design says, any possibility the heli takes Rick near Fear the Walking Dead? I don't think. No, I don't think. I don't think of Rick Fear the Walking Dead crossover. The one thing to keep in mind is Rick could have been very prominent on The Walking Dead. So I think there's assumptions that he's leaving The Walking Dead to go to Fear the Walking Dead, or he's leaving The Walking Dead to do his own spinoff. I don't think so. I think he's leaving The Walking Dead to spend time with his family. I really do. Now, I know he's doing some side jobs, like he's coming back, learning to be a director. But he's leaving on his terms. Which is why I think the big screen makes a little bit more sense. And he won't be dealing with that Atlanta weather. Scott Kernan with Super Chat says, it's interesting how in the comics some characters on pikes we hadn't seen since All Out War. I predict probably Rosita, Eugene, and possibly Terry. Scott, don't predict Rosita. Come on. I don't want to see that. Yeah, big screen, more money, and I think the big screen would be less of a time commitment as well. No doubt that I think a movie's in the works. Scott Gimple is thinking big. He's thinking more video games, more types of video games, augmented reality, app sales, merchandise. They got to keep the train moving. And a movie would bring in new fans. And keep in mind, Angela Kang said, we love our Andrew. We may see him again, especially since we kind of move around with time. Well, someone said a little bit ago, it might have been Paris, that getting on the helicopter is not epic. And I think that's a matter of perspective. I think it'd be very epic. I think it'd be very epic if he left and they made a movie about it. I'm okay with that. What happened to Rick after he was taken? There'd be enough mystery around it to to create some interest. And Paris, I think as a follow-up to that comment, here's the thing. I think your follow-up comment was, don't see a movie happening because ratings are falling. Okay, so what do you do? If your ratings are even slipping a little bit, you don't, tuck your head between your legs and say, well, let's just give up. You look for other ways to solicit viewers. A movie, big screen, people want to go out for that experience. It's a chance to recruit more people. I don't know if you can just look at it from the perspective of the only people that would go see a Walking Dead movie are Walking Dead fans. I think you got to look at it from the perspective of it's a $1 billion franchise, and if we're on the big screen, can we lure a new audience in by getting them to go watch the movie, and then they'll have enough interest where they'll start to tune in to the story a little bit more. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. And there's nothing bleak and desolate about The Walking Dead. Being down some viewers, they're still making money and turning a boatload of money hand over fist. Scott Kernan says, let's say they end up killing Rick. Then what? Scott, if they kill Rick Grimes, I'm going to stop watching the show. I'm going to stop doing YouTube broadcast. I'm never going to mention the name Walking Dead again. I won't watch Chris Hardwick. Fear the Walking Dead. I'll get a Fear the Walking Dead dartboard, and I'll throw darts at it every single day for 6 hours a day. Because these are the type of things that I hear all the time. That there are people that they're just so frustrated they're going to walk away. No, I'm not. If Rick dies, the next story comes along. If Rick's gone, I'm going to tune in the following week and I'm going to see what the next story is. That is Scott super chatted sarcasm. I mean, I may not love it. I may not love the story. I may do a broadcast and say, I would have done it slightly different. But it's going to be emotional. It's going to be impactful. And I'm going to tune in the next Sunday to see what comes after. And then I'm going to watch Magna and crew. And then I'm going to watch The Whisperer War. And then I'm going to wonder how many fans are going to stop watching at the end of the season. Because I don't know. I mean, there'll be some. Look, I don't know. One thing, well, I do know. One thing I know is The Walking Dead won't be immediately better without Rick Grimes. But I don't know if it won't become better than it is right now. And let me explain that. I got super chat. I want to tie that in. So Aaron says, it's possible that Rick lives, but they make us think he's dead, like Glenn in the dumpster. Honest question. Aaron, I don't think they will make us think he's dead. I think they could leave it to where we're not sure whether he's alive or dead. Because the question, it's an honest question, but to answer that question, and I'm being totally serious, I would have to know the future, right? Because the way, and this is weird, I got to sort this out. Because if he died at that moment, we wouldn't know that he lived, and we won't find that out till later on. So to answer your question, yes, that's possible they could do that. I don't think they will do that. I think instead of having to do that, they would just leave it to where we could speculate, okay, he made it out on that chopper alive. Or no, he looked like he was going to turn, but we're not sure. Maybe They can stop the infection. I mean, that's kind of the way I would answer your question. Could they kill somebody? I think they've learned their lesson from that. And on this answer, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being just completely genuine with you. Could they kill Rick in a fashion and then redo the contract in a couple years? If they thought there was any element of him coming back and signing him on again, they're not going to kill him. And they're not going to give us the impression he's dead. They would give us the impression that he's gone. And it gives us just a lot of stuff to talk about. Do I think they'll kill Jed right away? If Jed admits to shooting Rick and leaving him for dead, I do think Negan gains points by killing him. And also by showing that the world is not black or white, that the world is, you do need to have some interpretation, that you can't just kill leaders. I think it'd be a weaker play if Jed shot Rick and Negan said, well, Rick would want everybody to live, so I'm just going to let you live. I don't see him giving him a pass. Jason, I agree with that. I do think if that happens, and at this point, I know a lot of people were very untrusting at Soap Dirt, and they said it's a shady spoiler. I've even heard members of Spoiling Dead's fan page were laughing about the leak. But it's not impossible. Everything that they said in that spoiler is still legitimately in play. Jed's still alive. There's white horses around there. Do you know what made? And if anything, I think there's more evidence that something does happen. Wayne, I wouldn't say everything's possible, but there are some of our theories that are still possible. And there's also some that have been strengthened. I'm going to talk about that in 1 second because we got a super chat. We got Newfeld 12 with a super chat. Thank you so much. I'm invested in a lot of characters and many that have already gone. Rick is my favorite, but as long as Killshot is here and the 999 Army sticks around, I will always be... No, I changed that around. As Rick is my favorite, but as long as the stories are good, I'm in until the end. And thank you so much. I feel the same way. And we've got N-Dub. What's up, N-Dub? What was the point of Anne going back for Walkie when she doesn't need supplies anymore? How did the copter know where she was, what she was up to, and what's her real angle here? So, the Anne story. The Walkie's obviously hidden in a place nobody else can find it, just in case. She's in debt. And I think she's in debt. And I think she also is ready to break away and get more supplies. I think it's twofold. Keep in mind, Rick didn't trust her. And Father G doesn't want to leave with her. Now, she talked to them before Father G made his decision to leave. But she already knew she was being questioned. And she did ask, what will it take? So either the helicopter said there were no pickups it doesn't mean they're not looking for people. It doesn't mean they're not out there trying to find people or they're making other runs. But apparently, when she saw the helicopter, the look on her face, she was scared, and it was like, okay, you're still out there. Haven't seen you in a year, haven't seen you in a year and a half, but you're still floating around out there. You're going to find us. Let me get in touch with you. So she proactively reached out and said, what will it take? And they said an A. So she still owes. And thank you for that super chat. We got June Smith. June says, kills. My son thinks I'm losing my mind over this. I am having a hard time. Stomach is in knots all the time. Am I losing it? June, I'm going to have to go psychology on you. I cannot give medical advice, so I will give my 999 Army advice. Does this feel like a deal? A deal? Does this feel like a deer kill segment? But I'm gonna. You know what, June, you're not losing your mind. The characters on The Walking Dead have been a vital part of our Sundays for a long, long time. Not just on Sundays. How many people were watching our streams in June? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Kevin Stover, see the support. Try a little bit of support. It goes a long way. So, all right. The Walking Dead, when The Walking Dead ended, all of these people were here in streams talking about the television show over the summer. So that to me, June, shows that it's an important aspect. And I'll tell you why. Because The Walking Dead is not a show about zombies. It's a show about relationships. This stream is a stream about relationships. True story. There have been people in this group that have met, that have become friends. There's some people who went out. This has become a network. So there's no doubt that it's important, not just for the story, but because we watch the story and we feel what some of the characters feel, and then you know what? We get excited about it. People find out some information, they start messaging me like, Kills, did you see this article? Did you see this video? So our relationships and our connection to the show extend beyond the television show. So I think that's probably a little bit of your anxiety, to be perfectly honest with you. It's the fact that you're going to watch a show and miss a character that you've gotten used to. But to Kevin's point, and Kevin does have a valid point, he just didn't articulate it very well, it is a TV show. And losing a character on a TV show is not going to have the same impact, but it doesn't mean it's not going to have a strong impact. A couple episodes, a new story, new things to talk about. No, you're going to be right there with you. I mean, you're going to be back to talking about the next storyline. I will tell you, Scott, we'll see. I mean, I agree to a certain extent that Spoiling Dead may hold on to certain spoilers, but some stuff will leak. Other people will leak it. Let me tell you, June, what would cause serious anxiety. And Villar, are you here? I want to make sure Villar's still in the stream. I'm doing a roll call. And there's a couple other people I could ask this question to, but I want to see. if my resident Game of Thrones Valar stepped away. All right, where are my other hardcore Game of Thrones fans? I don't know if any is more passionate than Valar. That's why. I mean, many of you are, but she's hardcore. All right, there you go. All right, Valar's back in the house. Valar, do you feel a different sense of anxiety because this is the Game of Thrones last season? I want to draw a parallel. Because losing a character is tough. The ending of a series is really, really tough. The question was, do you feel a sense of anxiety or loss because Game of Thrones is ending? And I think a lot of people do. You know, the thing about losing Rick is a lot of people are equivocating it to the show because he's been there. If the show was ending, I would be much, much more disappointed. Because one of the things that kind of ties this group together, and you see many people chiming in like, hey, I love getting together talking about spoilers. I love doing predictions. I love the psychology behind The Walking Dead. We like to talk about which characters are going to be there. When that ends, I mean, we're going to do one of two things, right? We're going to transition to a different show, or we're going to find other things to talk about. And Jason, that's a great point. And you guys do know we're probably not going to be doing a big build-up going into it, but we will be here talking about Game of Thrones next season. So we will build it up, we'll hype it up, we'll have the same type of character analysis, psychology, we'll dig into it, all of the above. And there will be other shows that we do it to, but The Walking Dead is definitely unique to a lot of people. So June, I know it's a long answer to your super chat, but we'll get through it. Hopefully that's a good answer. Steph, the Cuervo Queen. Valar, you're the bestest. Steph, I'm not reading the last part of that sentence. I'm not. I'm just going to say, I'll read the first part. Is Rick's fatal flaw? How about this? I'll tie this question in. So this will be half Steph's super chat. Is Rick's fatal flaw he has too many mushies and smushies for the sanctuary? Leave your thoughts. I feel like he's overcommitting. I'm not saying that you leave those people to die, because I don't believe that you do. But I feel like he's giving them so much more attention than everybody else. Why not just shut down the sanctuary? You know, we talked about this in a previous stream. Why not say, you know what? 5 of you are going here, 5 of you going there, 5 of you going there, or split up a little bit differently just to get them to intermingle a little bit more. That was not my idea. Somebody in the stream suggested kind of break them up temporarily just to get them more comfortable. Valar says, the only thing that's keeping me sane is knowing it will continue with prequels. Yeah, I mean, so let's do a Walking Dead movie and get some Rick Grimes in there. I think that'll help keep people sort of attached to Rick. Scott with a follow-up. Rick's problem is the idea of a heavenly world. You know, the guilt that he wasn't there for Carl, the conviction of wanting to carry on Carl's legacy. So a couple big things go down, and we are running out. We got 2 episodes left. We're running out of time. Is Maggie's interesting conversation with Negan. Maggie's feeding Negan. Rick is probably going away. And here's all the things that are happening at one time. So, Rick and Daryl on a joyride. I'm sorry, I might have said Maggie. Michonne feeding Negan. Maggie on the hunt to hunt Negan. Carol packing her bags and leaving. And a whole bunch of other people just kind of waiting around to see what goes down. So, I do have to ask another follow-up. Is Rick going a little overboard with Negan? I'm going to explain that one second. I'm going to ask the question very generally because I want you to think about how he might be, and how he might not be. See some people saying yes. I'm going to tell you what's starting to bother me. Is Negan's locked up. And do not think that I am a Negan sympathizer. Negan's locked up. He let him live. Maybe he should have killed him on the spot, but he didn't, so he locked him up. They're keeping him alive to be an example. But the mental abuse that he's trying to inflict on him, I don't agree with it. It's been a long time since we had one of these talks. I know. I do most of the talking. Okay, so I thought that there was, I want to talk to him, want to keep him sane. He is imprisoned. We are forcing him to eat. He does want to die. Is it necessary to keep throwing things up in his face of saying, we're doing all this and it's not because of you? Do you need to antagonize him anymore? Now, some people are going to say yes, right? Some people are going to say, yeah, he deserved it. He killed Glenn. He killed Abraham. I'm going to say no. I think it's a waste of energy. I really do. The time Rick is sitting there, pushing him and rubbing it in his face, he could be cutting a damn log and putting it on that bridge so the bridge doesn't get washed away. It's wasted time. It's wasted energy. He doesn't need to do that. He's doing it to push Negan further down. Is that some way of making himself feel better? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like Negan, but I don't like what Rick's doing to Negan at this point. Just have to take a stand and say that. I don't think it's going to soften me up to like Negan later or make me feel more sorry for him. But I don't think it's necessary. You cut his throat. You took all his freedom away. I mean, to me, it's not even therapy sessions, Carrie. It's let me tell you all the things that we're doing without you, and you'll never see it. You'll die in here. He even said it, right? Negan said, paint a pretty picture, Rick. When do I get to see it? You're going to die in here. I mean, we know that they had to talk, right? But it's just out of spite. It's this continual spite. He is absolutely gloating. I don't like that. I don't like that character flaw in Rick. I think to me it lessens. Rick is tough. Rick is strong. Rick is compassionate. I don't think it fits. I don't like it. You can like it. I'm not telling you to lie. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. N-Dub says, has anyone mentioned Michonne holding Lucille at night in one of the trailers? Or am I wrong and it's something else? So we haven't seen that yet. But I got to feel it's an important part of the whether Negan gets out. Or what if, I know this is going to sound corny, fetish, perverse, whatever, in a weird sort of way. What if Negan and Michonne cut a deal and Negan is only going to eat and stay alive if Michonne brings him the bat and just lets him hold Lucille for a little bit? Possibility. What do you think about that? I like it. I just kind of made that up in my head all of a sudden. I mean, it is a little weird. Michonne's out there with a bat. So what if Negan has a request and say, look, I'll play ball with you, but the one thing that I want to see her again. I mean, I don't think he's going to Lucille himself. I don't think he's going to kill himself behind bars. But, I think it'd be... Some prisoners get Xboxes in jail. Why not let Negan have a moment with Lucille? I mean, clearly the bat has sentimental value to him. Drama King with Super Chat. Drama King says, kills. Do you recall seeing B on anything? I'm pretty sure we've only seen an A. I don't recall seeing a B either. I only saw the container with an A. I only saw the helicopter with an A. What if... Okay, let's throw this out there. So we haven't seen a B. Drama King, let's build on this. I'm kind of in a cerebral, bold prediction mode. No, you didn't. You didn't stump me. I got a follow-up for you. What if the A's go to Alpha via helicopter, and the B's are the ground force, and Beta comes in, and they decapitate the B's? There's your A and your B. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing something out there for you. I mean, could be a different group that comes in and does whatever they do with the B's, and they're not a flying crew. So the helicopters are the ones that specifically take care of the A's, and B stands for Beta. And Beta comes in and bam. Because Beta is the decapitator, right? B stands for beheaded. I like that. B, bitten, beta, beheaded. What else do you need? A stands for alpha, and we want them alive. Some people have to become masked, and some people have to become recruits. A, B. A and B, Anne's beheading. Yeah, I'll give it to you. But, Drama, I think that's a great point. I have not seen a B anywhere. And, I mean, look, they could have a Jeep and be picking up the Bs. I don't know. They're not flying them around in a helicopter. That's just for the A's. Scott Kernan says, kills, got to go, 999. Thank you so much, Scott. Appreciate you being here. We got a few more minutes before we wind it down. So appreciate that. And thanks for all your comments, contributions, involvement, the whole nine. So I'm going to tie this into more of a global picture. It's not to trick anybody, because, you know, I did touch on it a little bit earlier. But the point of the video, Rick's only way out. And I'll tie this into Andy's only way out. Whether it is an epic death, whether it is an open-ended situation, whether it's not perfectly done, my ask, and I'm hoping the viewers will hold true to this, is that it's done with class. As fans of the show, and as fans of the show that are going to be here for a long time, as new information starts to surface over the next few days, regardless of how the writers decide to write out the exit of Rick Grimes, appreciate everything that they put into the show, because the chemistry that the actors have right now is as good as I've seen it. I don't know that the show is going to get more viewers than it had at one point, but I do know this: there are less people watching it. It won't be immediately better after the exit of Rick Grimes, but it doesn't mean that it can't be at some point. It doesn't mean that the story won't ramp back up. It doesn't mean that other characters will not step into that role. Some people just, it's a worn, tired story to them, and they don't get excited about what's going on with it right now. Some people, they've killed enough of their favorites that they're not excited about it anymore. But it doesn't mean that new people coming on the screen. There's a new villain right around the corner, and I'm going to be watching in the front row with some popcorn, seeing how evil these Whisperers are and who is going to make it through this, because I do think that there's going to be some major, major loss this season, and it's going to be not only recovering from Rick and Maggie, but I think there's going to be other characters we watch for a long time. And they are going to make their new beginning. If you're a fan of the show, as I said before, and you're a fan of our show here, and you plan on sticking around with us for a couple years, I think we got at least a couple more years of doing these streams, and we do them several nights a week. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not a fan of The Walking Dead, and you're probably not going to be a long-term fan, and you're probably going to leave the show, and you're not a fan of this show, then give this video a thumbs down, because we just want to know who we're broadcasting to. I want to say thank you to everybody. Appreciate everybody's here tonight. We have hit 60 minutes. So, wow. Time just, you look up and then you look down. It's like no commercial breaks. And we got through another hour of great conversation. Appreciate everybody here tonight. If you're watching the playback, this is going to be the closing credits. Those of you that are in the stream right now, make sure once this video goes live, get over, check it out. Leave a couple comments. Also, we did a couple videos yesterday. If you haven't had a chance to check those out, leave some comments on those as well. I want to say thank you to all the patrons in the top left-hand corner. You can see the support for this channel is just unbelievable. I think we're up around, between Patreon sponsors, around 70 or so monthly sponsors. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much. If you are interested in becoming a patron, you want a little bit more information, a little bit more out of YouTube, there's a link down below. Sponsorship, same thing, top right-hand corner. You can see all the sponsors, their names highlighted in green. And we got some mod chats tonight from Steph the Cuervo Queen. So right green, we got mushies and smushies. So I am going to, I'm gonna do that. They're not going to be shout-outs tonight. So I want to send some mushies and smushies to my moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells. Also to all the super chatters, and there are a lot of super chatters tonight. Thank you so much. And let me call them out really quickly. We've got, who we got? We got Scott Kernan did a ton of super chats. Villar, Paul Gilmore, as I said, Steph the Cuervo Queen, Gigi, Goucher, and we got Walking Dead Nerd, Nirvana Design, Aaron, Lecklighter, Neufeld 12, Ndub 92, June Smith, and Drama King, New York City. Thank you so much for all the super chats. And everybody else still hanging out with us. Let's get some 999s up in here, and we will take it out. So I do want to say thanks to I'm Chasing the Sun, also the Walking Dead Nerd, Ziglet, Emmy. Come on, Emmy. Emmy's going to give me another mushy smushy super chat. Emmy Desiree says, say mushy. You have to because of super chat. So, all right. So just for Emmy and Steph, we're going to do mushies and smushies tonight. So I want to say thank you to James Kelly, Frank Gonzalez, June Smith, Blood Eagle, Mike Reiser, David Troa, Jimmy Brooks, Samantha Coombs, Buffy Batcave, Eric C., Aaron Thomas, the ETZ Mom, Cammie, Lisa Marie, Lisa Smith. I think I saw both Kimberly G's tonight, so thanks to both of them. Kevin Stover, Tracy Dees, Michael Curie, thank you. Patrick Ivers, Shane Yutzi, Danny Martinez. I did see both of them. Aha. I thought I wasn't having a Rick hallucination. Coma Drug, 235, Tommy V, Anthony Solari, thank you. Gamma, appreciate that. Gina Crockett, Walking Dead Nerd, Jason Mixologist Daily, Michelle M. I did not see Jimmy's jamming tonight. Jimmy, you better be watching the playback. So I'm giving you another extra shout out just because I know you're going to watch the playback. Jonathan Jordan, thank you as well. Appreciate that. Madison Dickey. Thanks, Edwin Gonzalez. Appreciate that. Walani. Tommy, the sweet ass enforcer McCandless. Thank you so much, Tommy. Tommy, I would have thought you were going to bail me out with something that was like anti-mushy smushy. Maybe. Cade Woody, thank you. Several new people. Anybody that's new, just a real quick overview, because we don't go through kind of our weekly schedule that much. I do mention it from time to time. All right. I don't know. Moderators, like my mods went crazy tonight. Kel says smile, indirectly making me say what she says she won't make me say. I won't make you say mushies. I don't know what happened tonight. You got a little bit nuts. Those of you that are new, if you don't know, it's a very chill family environment, amazing group of people. If you want to talk about The Walking Dead and hang out with us, hit the subscribe button, come back. We are here Monday through Thursday, 9:30 every night, and then Sundays we're here at 11 a.m. We're here at 8 o'clock to do a countdown. We do reaction videos, and we do videos throughout the week that'll pop up, and sometimes we do Friday streams and Saturdays. Usually don't commit to it, but the last couple weeks I have done an either or. We've done some weekend streams, so you guys are great. And we're winding down, man. Halloween in a week. It's like a lot of stuff. Is it a full moon? All right, Logan, thank you so much. I missed a ton of shout-outs, but I was moderately distracted. Myko the Psycho. Chris Riddle, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Uncle Creepy, thank you. And keep in mind, it's not just the psychology of The Walking Dead. There are some really, really well thought out, amazing theories. I know you guys are doing what I'm doing. You're thinking about the show a couple hours a day, and a lot of times, your thoughts and your ideas get included in this, and then we get these, like aha moments, like, oh, okay, yeah, there was an RV back at the junkyard. That's what happened. And as these things start to play out, some of them are very spontaneous. Why we're doing a stream. Some of these just kind of come out as good ideas. I think last year we talked about Negan killing Simon. That was something that wasn't well thought out, but we discussed it maybe 4 weeks before it happened. It was just something randomly that came out in one of our streams. So we do get lucky from time to time. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody that is here, and I will see hopefully every one of you tomorrow night. And thank you for blocking. Dude, I don't know if you're just trying to be funny with it, but let me kind of say, you can go change your YouTube name and maybe come back in, but don't come in here and make racist comments because it's going to be blocked. There's nothing even remotely funny about that. And it's been a while since I had to have one-on-one conversation and say don't do it, but that's not our stream. That might be somebody else that does YouTube Walking Dead stuff. You can go over there if they like that sort of thing and they just want to get the views and they just need people. Go, spew whatever sexist, racist comments you want to make over there. But if you're going to come in here, you're going to treat everybody in here with a little bit of respect. So, and thank you for taking care of that, moderators. That's all I got. Let's end on that positive note. I will see you all tomorrow night. Peace, everybody. See ya.